Hello, my name is Tom Little. I'm a fifth grade teacher. I just recently started using Lucidspark with my students, and I want to share some of the tips and tricks that I've found to that have benefited my classroom to help my students. One of my probably my very first thing, and I would say for anyone learning anything new, whether it be a teacher or student, is we start simple. We start with one. I start with one thing and kind of go from there. So one of the really neat things I like is the sticky notes. So you slide the sticky notes in, and you can type. And if I want to type a lot, it gets smaller and smaller. So I don't have to change the font size as I type. I could type sentences upon sentences in these sticky notes. There's such a neat tool for students to share ideas. And so I have here a sentence, and if they wanted to make a comment on it, they slide it into their number box and add their comment. The beauty of this is I can see in real time whether my students are getting it, which kids aren't responding, or how many kids are responding, and kind of move around and help them. If I see common misconceptions, I can point out, oh, I'm seeing a lot of this, but this is what the question's asking, or this is how we're going to respond to that. So sticky notes on a board are just fantastic. Another thing I really like is using this window or this path, so I can go from page to page. And if I want students, because like anything new, students are going to explore, they're going to play, they're going to do this and that. And it's going to be a mess. It's like the first time you set out the math manipulatives and they all want to build towers and they all want to do these things, and we want them to do one, but we have to remember that kids need time to, at least in my experience, need time to explore and be curious. And so they're going to do that. And you have to kind of remember that. But one thing is the other great feature is if you're a facilitator and you start to facilitate, you can come over here and you can take the lead. And that brings every kid to the screen that you're on. And it kind of redirects them, which is such a nice feature of where this is such a sandbox of possibilities. The next feature that I really like, it's really quick, but just the time clock. If I say, okay, you have 2 minutes, and I hit this timer and I can start that timer, every kid can see the timer and it goes off as a whole group. Another fantastic feature that I really like is the breakout boards. And these are just small boards, and that are connected to this main board. One of the things I used it in was an author's purpose activity. You can see this is the kids' final result. I mean, I have some pretty good responses from a large group of kids, a couple absences, but the breakout boards, what this was is they were reading author's purpose. They had to read a story, so they came here to they joined this breakout board. They read this story about what's the hurry, trying to figure out the author's purpose, and then they came back to the main board and answered what the purpose of the author's hurry was. And then using the paths, I was able to move. They could move to the next one, click on Olympic Games, and do the same thing. So the breakout boards are fantastic. Another feature that I love, allowing the kids to kind of interact, is when they're done. I have those kids that are when they're done and they get into mischief, they can use the reactions. So I said, you go through, read any ones that you agree with, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. So we have, lots of other engagement. So they're not just thinking about their own, they're then going and looking at other ideas and collaborating in a way that it's so hard. It would just be so hard to do in a regular classroom. Now, I will show you the results of a first time try. So this was my first time go. You can see I have post-it notes all over the place. They've created random frames. I have post-it notes in the middle saying "I'm so cool" and "TH" and little pink purple post-it notes. That's going to happen. They're gonna explore. They're gonna try. But this author's purpose was my third try. Setting expectations, setting those boundaries, and I have kids putting in answers, responding, reacting, simply with a thumbs up. I just can't get enough. I mean, this is just a small taste of the things you could do with, or things I've been able to do with Lucidspark in just the month that I've been trying it. So my last piece of advice is to give it a try. There's going to be a learning curve for you and for the kids, but it has been such a benefit in my classroom, giving them an opportunity to share ideas, for me to see what they're thinking and intervene or change a lesson or change something for the future lessons, so that I can better meet their needs. So step out there, take some risks, and give it a try.